The next morning. It looked like Adage's medicine was working. The swelling and irritation had receded. Nice. Ignoring the doctor's advice to rest for a week, ELTCREED marched out of the mansion. Mad lad. Are you sure about this?
Yes. I can already move much more easily than yesterday. Even my smile, look. It's natural, right?
He gave me a smile so broad I didn't know what to say. I mean, you've already waited this long. You couldn't have waited one more week. It does look as though he's perfectly healthy, yes. I was worried he was simply forcing himself along like he had during the duel, and found it difficult to accept his claims. Sus. As if he sensed what I was thinking, he moved closer to me and whispered in my ear.
I can't show weakness outside the mansion. I have to act like a strong leader. You need to be like you always are, proud and elegant. I appreciate your worries, but I don't want anyone to know about the injury. Alt. Besides, your smile is the best medicine in the world. Please. Smile. Okay?
Okay. I will. Elt nodded and began to walk again. His organization had already worked to calm the worst excesses of the chaos of the previous days. Nice. The best deterrent was evidently Elt's presence. The people in the city stopped to look at him as he passed. They didn't talk to him or whisper among themselves. They only stared at him with a mixture of apprehension and respect. He embodied the district, represented it. The moment brought that fact home to me. Yeah, I mean, I guess he is a leader and has to be like, I'm fine, so everything else is fine. Oh, we get to see this place during the day. Nice. We walked until we reached an assembly in Libra Elitis. It was the same location we had gone to for a party some time prior, but now it was filled with people I didn't recognize. Oh, except for that guy.
Thank you for coming here, everyone.
Mr. Valentine, we were told that you were gravely injured, but you appear to be in good health.
An exaggeration. I am, as you can see, hale and hearty. The reason I have brought you, my fellow representatives of the depths, here today is this.
ELTCREED extracted a piece of paper sealed in red wax from his pocket.
This arrived this morning from the Heights. It requests that Libra Elitis unconditionally releases the hounds we captured.
Arrogant bastards! I say we cut off their heads and send them back to the Heights. Cutting off their heads is so savage. Can't we find a more peaceable solution?
Yes, they still have Yune the Saint. I would prefer not to incur his wrath.
The representatives began to debate among themselves, completely ignoring ELTCREED. He looked around and dramatically cleared his throat.
Him. Excuse the insolence, but as someone deeply involved in this matter, I would like to propose something. I would like to represent you and everyone else in the depths. And go into the Heights.
You?
Yes. Libra Elitis is at the center of this controversy. That can't be ignored.
I see. But we can't send you there without a plan.
He turned towards me.
I would like to speak with the representatives in private. Please ask the girl to leave.
Very well. Cyrus, please wait by the entrance.
With the representatives in private. That was reasonable. I could hardly remain. I do wonder if, man, if we go back to the Heights, that'll be interesting to say the least. Reluctantly, I stood up, bowed, and left the room. Welp. Doop doo doo doop doo 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 doo. After the meeting, Elt and I walked home together. You gonna fill me in, boo? No? I withdrew to my room immediately. Elt's going into the Heights. I was going to accompany him as his guard, but it made me uneasy. Well, reasonable. We were going to leave the next morning. Oh, man. I'm so excited. Obviously, time was critical, but for me it was too early. He said he needs to meet them in person, not negotiate by letter. I understood the need for that, but he was going into the heart of the enemy. He was a diplomatic envoy, and so afforded all protections that came with that role. I didn't expect him to be in danger, but I couldn't be certain that there were no plans being made by anyone. And what about you? What's Elt's plan in all of this? And not just Elt either. I didn't know what any of the other representatives were thinking. Apparently, none of them opposed the plan. Rather, the opposite was true, and they enthusiastically supported it. The Heights. I've become so used to the depths. Going back now. I knew I needed to sleep as soon as possible, but I was still wide awake, my mind racing. I should have a warm drink. Have a hot toddy. Someone is there. I can hear voices. It's Elt and Ulrich. I approached them. I wanted to call out, but they looked very serious as they talked in hushed voices. It must be about something important. Ulrich and Elt's eyes and ears in the city. Ulrich was Elt's eyes and ears in the city. That makes much more sense. A more or less confidential discussion wasn't hard to imagine. Why do I have such a bad feeling?
Oh! It's you.
Ulrich put his hand on Elt's shoulder as he passed, ending the conversation. He was leaving quite quickly. I assumed the conversation had involved me somehow. I don't know what to do here. Like if I left, I feel like they would just be like, "Oh, no, it's fine. I was just going anyway." And they'll be like, "I'm going to bed. Bye." What were you talking about? Is like a little too direct. But I don't know about like walking with Ulrich. I'm like, why would I want to walk with Ulrich? Like, am I walking with Ulrich to get the info from him because I can wheedle stuff out of him and Elt won't talk to me directly? How close am I with Ulrich now? Could I get him to tell me about Elt's deepest secrets? He's like, I'm leaving. I'll walk with you because I couldn't sleep anyway. I don't know, I'm just not a fan of these, but I don't know what this would really get us either. Barf. I'm saving. I'm curious about this. These I can kind of figure out where they're going. This I'm like, maybe wheedle information out. Ah, he liked that. Why do you like that? I thought I had you figured out, ELTCREED. No, not so sure. I'm like, I don't know. Okay, well. Huzzah! I'm sorry I interrupted you. I'll walk you to the door.
That's fine. It's right over there, so what's even the point of that? And our discussion was basically over anyway.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that I was expecting that from the first one.
Goodness. You certainly ignored her goodwill just now. You're a disgrace to the male sex.
Ah, that's why you liked it. Okay. I can kind of see that.
Shut up. If I wanted to be graceful, I'd take dancing lessons. Who even gives a crap?
Ulrich, I'm serious this time. Think about it carefully before you act.
I'll try to remember. See you.
I didn't even get to walk. What a weird option. What's the point of that option? I feel like you would just have that conversation no matter what happened. Like, if you're like, I'll just leave. Like, no, I'm going. Cryptic conversation. He's gone. What was the third one? Just directly asking. They'd just be like, oh, nothing of any importance. By the way, cryptic conversation. Leaves. What a weird option that was.
He's still a child at heart.
Serious. I wondered what kind of discussion they'd had. And then I just ask anyway. Okay. What were you talking about with Ulrich?
We were talking about the Heights. What kind of place it is, and so on and so forth.
What kind of place it is? Shouldn't you have asked me then? Besides, Ulrich hates the Heights. I wouldn't expect him to know much at all.
That's true. All he said to me was negative. It wasn't very helpful at all. Too bad, really.
Elt laughed and put his hand on his forehead. He seemed embarrassed. But that's all. He doesn't act suspiciously otherwise. Elt was normally the type of person who would have talked to me about the Heights. It made no sense to ask Ulrich. Besides, the word serious stands out oddly to me. I hoped it was nothing horrible and looked up at him. Should I tell you about the Heights then?
Thank you. But we have to wake up early tomorrow. We should sleep now. Will you stay here? Or will you sleep with me?
I won't!
I see. That's too bad. Good night, then. See you tomorrow.
Okay. Good night. There he goes. I wanted to talk to him. I had the vague feeling what he'd said had been a distraction tactic. Squint. No, I shouldn't be suspicious of others. I decided to eat something and go to bed. Where is Ulrich's candy stash? That's soothing before bed. I stayed awake all night. Morning arrived. I decided not to be suspicious of others, and especially not of Elt. I mean, he is talking about something that he doesn't want you to know about, but he's not doing it to hurt you, most likely. It's just a need-to-know basis, and you don't need to know. But he is acting suspiciously. But even half a day later, I felt uneasy and restless. I hadn't slept well, and decided it was time to ask him directly. Okay. Good morning, Elt.
Good morning. Oh, you look terrible.
I didn't sleep well last night.
Why not? Did you have nightmares?
I decided I'd talk to him, but I don't really know what to ask him. Elt looked at my hesitation and shrugged. I didn't sleep badly because of nightmares. I kept thinking about you.
Thinking about me? This is an odd moment for a confession of love, but it makes me happy.
Love?
If we're going out, can I assume that we'll marry eventually? What kind of ceremony would you like? A small one, or a big one with a lot of guests?
Oh! No, that's not why I was thinking about you. Gosh, Elt. I felt exasperated, and then the penny dropped. Perhaps he really is trying to distract me from something. There was something he didn't want to talk about with me. That explained his odd choice of topics. What I kept thinking about was the way you and Ulrich behaved yesterday evening.
Behaved? I don't remember. What do you mean?
If you don't remember, I'll jog your memory. Yesterday, quite late at night, you were talking to Ulrich. You told me that you were asking Ulrich about the Heights. I don't believe that's true. If you had wanted to ask someone about the Heights, you would have asked me. Am I wrong? You both looked very grim yesterday. It was not a pleasant or easy conversation. Will you tell me what you were talking about? I want to help you, Elt.
There is nothing you could help me with.
What does that mean?
My journey to the Heights is one way. I don't expect I will return.
But that can't be.
Why not? How well do you think you really know the Heights? You were born there, but do you know all its dark corners? I'm going into my enemy's territory. If I am captured, I will commit suicide before I can be tortured. I will carry a small bomb with me so that, if it comes to that, I can take as many in the Heights with me as possible. We talked about that.
Holy fraholies, man! A small bomb? Taking out people in the Heights with you? Hold on a minute. It's a little extreme, don't you think? I mean, you're probably not gonna detonate the bomb where there's like civilians and stuff, but sheesh, man. Also, don't be so negative. Oh my goodness. Okay, well no wonder they were grim. You can't be so negative. Why would you think that you're not coming back alive?
I truly hesitate to speak badly of your homeland, but governance is usually amoral. If I go alone, they will find me an easy victim and use me as a bargaining chip in turn. I also have no further need of you for that reason. I don't want to expose you to meaningless danger. You have no duty to march to your death with me.
I won't let you do this. Why would you go there to be killed or commit suicide?
Because they want me to. I am the representative of Libralitas, the district at the center of this disturbance. I need to take responsibility. And the other representatives told me to die a hero if it comes to it.
Die a hero?
They want to use my death to make the people angry enough to conquer the Heights. I don't know the details. It will all happen after my death anyway.
That's absurd.
It's all right. My life hasn't been my own ever since I became the leader of my people. I'm the head of my bank, the head of my family, and the representative of my district. For better or worse, what I do decides over their fates. This is what I must do to make sure ELTCREED Valentine is well remembered.
No, you're wrong. If you die, it's all over. If you die, everything is lost for you. I can't let you die for other people.
It doesn't matter whether you can or can't. You are my guard. It's not yours to decide.
No, it's my job to guard your life. I won't accept any threat to your life. Even if that threat is you yourself.
And what will you do? Crying won't change my decision.
I have no intention of appealing to your feelings. I challenge you to a duel. Okay. Get him, girl. I will not let ELTCREED Valentine throw his life away. Ah, this is a good spot for it. We stood among the flowers in the garden of the Valentine residence about to cross swords. I was the clear favorite due to my experience and Elt's lingering wound. But Elt didn't complain, didn't request a handicap, and took up his sword. Doesn't he want to win? Or does he have some abilities he hasn't shown before? Whatever it was, I had to focus. I had to win this duel.
I remember how we fought before. I asked you for a duel back then, saying I wanted to know your skill. And now you've asked me for a duel. It's strange. I have no intention of losing. What you wish to protect is dust in the wind compared to what I want to protect.
Life isn't comparable to dust in the wind. We all have only a single life. I won't let you die for no reason.
I see. Very well. Then I have to fight for your approval.
Elt closed the distance and made a wide sweep with his sword. I leapt back to dodge and went on the counterattack. Ha! Nice. I gotta take a look at this. Whew, look at that waist. Girl, making me jealous. I love that she is fighting him for his life. It's such an awesome concept. I love that she's not crying and she's not like begging and pleading. She's like, no, if I gotta smack some sense into you with my sword, I will do it. Don't test me. Cyrus, best girl.
If you force me to survive, you will only make the others angry.
You're not their one and only defender. Don't lose sight of what's important. With you gone, then everything you've built will be destroyed.
If that makes the people happier,
And with you dead, you won't know the difference.
Then what am I supposed to do?
Survive, ELTCREED Valentine. Survive and struggle, and you will find an answer.
Ridiculous. That answers nothing.
Death answers nothing. Death is an escape. Death is cheap. It's just an eloquent excuse. Nothing about it is beautiful. Don't lose your life over nothing. If you do that and die, I'll cry.
I still...
Elt's face was suddenly contorted by pain, and he went down on one knee. Elt!
Don't come closer. We still have a duel. Don't come.
He breathed heavily, still unable to stand up. His body was heaving.
This is so important. Why is my body failing me now?
Who could show up at a time like this?
This was obviously gonna happen if you run around with those wounds.
Ulrich. Help me smack some sense into this boy. Ulrich.
Put your sword away. Elt, you too. The duel ends here, alright?
No, we can't.
Your wound just opened, right? You're not gonna win this. You can't.
Ulrich. Are you on her side too?
Don't be stupid. I know how duels work and nobody has to get totally beaten up in them. You lost. Let's cut the bullshit. Here, I'll show you.
Ulrich took out a small box.
I had the bomb made like you wanted. Not that it's going to be used.
Bomb? No way. That's a music box, right?
It just looks like one. It looks small, but it's actually quite powerful. It's gonna blow you away, if you know what I mean.
Is now really the time for puns? He put it back and looked at me.
We're going to get into his room and put him to bed. I can't carry him alone either, so help me.
Oh, okay. I sheathed my sword and looked at Elt.
I haven't lost yet. I don't want to accept it, but I'll have to do as you ask for now.
Elt cast a disappointed look at his sword. I was torn between satisfaction and pain as we carried the grimacing elf back to his room. We put Elt down on his bed. Adage arrived soon after. He took a look at the wound, which should have been healing peacefully, and grimaced.
That's very stupid.
I know, right? Elt is so stupid.
You two should start a duet around that.
I mean, I'd listen to it.
I told you to rest. If you don't understand what that means, I'll prescribe you a dictionary. If you don't get rest, it just won't heal.
I'm sorry.
You have to show me that, not tell me.
I'm sorry.
Why can't you wait until you recover? Are you trying to die as fast as possible? Why is that where you all fall silent? Do you two know anything?
Uncertain of whether I should speak, I glanced at Ulrich. Ulrich.
Alt was going to go up into the heights and blow himself up with a bomb.
Suicide? That's ridiculous. Why am I here if he doesn't have to recover?
Well, you see...
I have to recover. I had a duel with her and lost, so now I have to stay down here.
On the one hand, I felt bad because of how disappointed Elt sounded. On the other, I was glad I'd been able to stop him. My mother and my father are both dead. Once you die, it's the end of everything. Only memories remain. Elt was too important to me. I couldn't allow him to walk to his death. Even if he hates me now. This was the right decision.
Why are you going to commit suicide? Are you a masochist?
No, my tastes are entirely normal. But my death would have been a quick way to save this district. That's a... Ouch!
Adage had pinched Elt's neck. Nice. Adage!
I very nearly pinched your wound, you know. If you can feel pain, it's proof that you're human. Human beings aren't perfect. We all have faults. We get hurt and we bleed. We're not immortal. Eventually we'll all die. I might have fallen pretty low, but I'm still a doctor. I won't let people throw their lives away. And you're getting this speech because you managed to piss me off. You're not going to die on my watch.
I see. It must be nice to have no worry in the world. You must be thinking I don't consider suicide my last resort.
Think about why you're alive. Think about how much of it you really want to sacrifice for others. Ultimately, that kind of altruism is just a way to feel nice about yourself. There's nothing selfless about it. You look smart, but in reality you're pretty dumb. If you don't have any ideas, you have to think more, you moron.
I don't think I've ever met such a rude doctor. Trying to think. Not a lot of doctors. He might take the cake, though. Elt also seemed to be restraining himself. His expression was tense. Ulrich was the only one who had a smile on his face. He was clearly enjoying himself. Gets out his candy bag to start eating, like, oh yeah. Adage knows what's up. It was well in the afternoon by the time Adage finished treating Elt.
All right, I'm leaving now.
Thank you for your work.
If you're actually thankful, don't ruin your body again. And if you're going to commit suicide up there, then I'll dig up your grave and mutilate what's left of you.
Nice. Adage.
I'm serious. I'll really do that. Take care.
And on that note...
No doctor before has quite glared at me like that when they left. I'm going back to my room. Could you please be quiet while I'm inside?
Of course. Why?
I would like to hang myself.
What?
Alt, that isn't funny.
I see. Too bad. Sorry. I'm going to sleep a little and think about the future.
You won't kill yourself?
No, I don't want to be dug up by Adage. Also, Ulrich, make preparations for meeting with all the other representatives.
Look, I'm your...
My information broker. I know. But you're the one I can trust most with this, all right?
Once I have all that done, I want a mountain of chocolate from you, okay?
Alright, I'll throw in some biscuits.
I don't need biscuits. Little kids eat them. Earliest I can have it done is this evening, okay?
Yes, that's enough. Thank you.
I respect ELTCREED. I respect Ulrich for his bargaining skills. The Mountain of Chocolate's pretty good.
Got it.
Ulrich opened the candy box and stuffed the contents into his bag. Then he waltzed out of the mansion as smoothly as a cat. What a cool cat. The atmosphere was uncomfortable. I'd been alone around Elt many times, but we'd just fought. The silence was almost painful. I have to say something. A meeting. What will you talk about?
First, I'll tell them that I haven't gone to the Heights. I'll have to make up some kind of excuse, even though I'm bad at that.
Elt smiled wryly.
The inside of my head is blank. I have no idea what I should do now. But I'll be able to think of something by tonight. Good night. Yes.
It's my fault that you couldn't go into the Heights. If there's anything I can do, please tell me.
There's nothing you... Oh, there is. I want to forget everything and have wild intercourse with you.
Wild intercourse, huh? Well, that's the first I've ever heard it described like that before. Intercourse?
It's a long way beyond kissing. But don't you want to know what it feels like? I do. I want to lose myself in you right now. But alas, that will have to wait. I decided that would have to wait until you are ready and all this confusion has subsided. Maybe I really am a masochist.
How are you planning to have wild intercourse after committing suicide today, you dummy? Elt.
Oh, you want to sleep with me? I'm glad you suggested. But I'm very sorry. The wound on my back hasn't healed yet. If it opens again, Adage won't use painkillers to treat me, I expect.
I didn't say anything about that. I'm not even sure what you're talking about.
That's all right. I will teach you. I can't die here, can I? I have to survive. So you see, you don't have to be afraid. I'll be fine.
Okay. Good.
But, you know, you shouldn't tell a man, and especially not someone other than me, that you do anything they ask. I would get a heart attack.
Really?
Yes. They might take you up on the offer.
Elt took my hand and kissed it. Well, I'm glad you're feeling better.
This is enough for now. Until later, my knight.
Night. I hadn't heard that word in a while, and it echoed through my head. Night, huh? I suppose that is what I'm striving to be. He was alive. He had dodged his death. That made me happy. But his step was heavy with guilt at his own survival, and the shadow of doubt hung over him. Was this really the right way of protecting Elt? Guess we'll have to look at his perspective to find out. See what he has to say about the whole shenanigans. Alright, you troublemaker, what's going on? Close that first.
The atmosphere of the meeting that night was tense.
Well, whoa, ow! What a spot.
It was to be expected. I had failed.
What is this? Why are you here? Explain.
There isn't much to explain. I haven't gone to the Heights. Instead, I am here, resolved to do what I can.
And what is that exactly? We have far more experience and ability than you.
If you think you bring anything to the table, you overestimate yourself.
I am disappointed in your selfishness, Valentine. Your death was going to change the future of everyone in the depths. You were going to be a hero.
Perhaps. But without me, Libra Elitas will disappear, swallowed by one of the esteemed gentlemen in this room. I knew that even before I reconsidered. Only the ruler and the name changes. The people live on as always. However, it did sting. My work was being stolen and I could offer no resistance. I'm young compared to all of you and lack experience. I was resolved to sacrifice myself for the depths instead. But following your wishes like a puppet didn't sit well with me. I don't think that would have made the people in my district happy. I have forged a path using my own abilities until this very moment. I received territory and renown through them. In going to the heights, I would have succumbed to pressure, hoping to prioritize the people. But instead, I will do things my own way. I will forge on and carve a path for them to lead them into the future. This will be my Libra Elitas' policy.
What a selfish plan. You realize what this means?
Of course. If you dislike my decision, you are welcome to cut ties with us. Hopefully we can at least agree on neutrality.
And he walked away.
Well then, I will excuse myself now.
He really did walk away. Well, that was a quickie.